Hello, welcome to Three Brothers in the Conversation. We're going to call this video Ignoring the Obvious. Unlike most people, I am one of the people that actually get paid to run their mouth. Every time I open my mouth, throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the week, throughout the year, I get paid. So I want to talk today about ignoring the obvious. Stop ignoring the obvious when it's right there in your face. Stop ignoring the obvious when family and friends treat you different. It is real. It is not fake. It's not in your imagination. It's actually happening. You got to understand body language. You have to understand social media language. You have to understand eye movement, tone of voice. All these things matter when somebody is treating you different. You must understand, and you must not ignore the obvious. When you have people that's not supporting you, are not giving you support on some of the things that you do. I don't care if you working. I don't care if you got a new job. I don't care if you graduated college. I don't care if you start a new business. I don't care what it is. When they act like it's not happening, it's real. And you must not ignore the obvious. Some people say, oh man, I don't do that for attention. I don't do that to get that. That's BS, man. That's BS. Your friends and your family are supposed to be your biggest supporters. We got to stop that BS. Your friends and your family is supposed to be your biggest cheerleaders. When you sit back and you watch family members and friends, they go out of their way to support others. They go out of their way to congratulate others. And you could be doing the same thing or something greater. They say nothing to you. Even in your presence, they'll talk about the other person. You got to stop ignoring the obvious. You got to stop saying to yourself, it's okay. They tripping. I'm not worrying about it. That's BS. You stop them in their track right then and there. And from that point on, if they're not on your team, you don't deal with them. Period. Family or friends. The youth of the day call them ops. And we all have ops. And you better know the language of your ops. Whether it's in your face, whether it's on social media, no matter what, you need to know who your ops are. I posted the other day. It's a lot of friends. It's a lot of ops clothed in friend clothing. You must know who they are. Let me give you some examples. When you post, or when you do a video or live, or when you showcasing your material online, or when you showcasing your business online, they never like, they never comment. When you ask them, hey, did you see this or did you see that? Did you see my new product? No, I didn't see it. They BSing, man. About 90% of Americans right now is on live right now, on Facebook right now, on Instagram right now, on Twitter right now, on Snapchat right now, on TikTok right now. They see your stuff. And if they're your friend, they see your stuff. That's a fact. That's a fact. So stop letting them play you. Stop letting them play you. They see you. Stop ignoring the obvious. When you post on their page, you like something of theirs, and you comment on their page, and they don't comment back. But then you see somebody else comment on their page, and they comment back to them, they got an issue with you. They saw your comment just like they saw the other person comment. And if you think I'm lying, you crazy. These are your ops. They're not for you. They're not on your team. Stop ignoring the obvious. When you go around family and friends and they treat you cold, you're not a part of the conversation. You see attitudes, eye movement, looking at one another. They're your ops. Stop overlooking the obvious. It's right there in your face. Stop it. It's real. It's not fake. Realize it and move on. I want to hit on this too. Family members, friends, if you see people doing wrong in your family or in your friendship, you correct them. Tell them it's wrong. Don't turn the other cheek and, oh, they're going to be all right. They'll be better. They're going to do better. I'm going to leave it in God's hand. No. Correct them. Tell them. Stop ignoring the obvious. Because what that person is doing could eventually wreck the family, wreck the friendship, or probably kill somebody or hurt somebody. And by you ignoring the obvious and you acting like it's going to get better and you acting like you don't see it, guess what? You complacent in the issue. You are complacent in the issue. It's family members right now doing things they ain't got no business. Whether it's drugs, whether it's not pulling their weight, rather it's downgrading other family members, and his friends doing the same thing. And if you're a part of that, you're complacent and you're ignoring the obvious. And last but not least, I got to hit on the youth before I leave. If your child is not logging on, in school, if your child is playing videos during school, if your child can't produce work to you to show you that he's been online doing his work, you're ignoring the obvious. And by ignoring that obvious, you're going to have a child that's in failure. You're going to have a child that never completes anything. And you're going to have a child that never reached their goals. We have to stop ignoring the obvious. Another thing with youth, if you see your child going out late at night, wearing all black, wearing different color handkerchiefs in their pocket, speaking a different lingo, throwing up hand signs, giving up different shakes to their friends, you might not know what gangs are. You might not know what the signs are, but you know it's different. It's different behavior. If you ignore it, you're ignoring the obvious. And guess what's going to happen? He or she either going to end up in prison. He or she either going to end up with a bad life, or he or she is going to end up in a grave. And guess who at fault too? You are. Because you ignore the obvious. You ignore the obvious. Now, am I perfect at this? No. I have been a person that ignored the obvious, and things happen to me. That's why I can tell you. Stop ignoring the obvious. I don't do it anymore. When I see somebody doing something wrong, I tell them. When I see somebody sneak dissing me or sneak hating on me, I tell them. I don't go around them no more. I don't talk to them no more. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't deal with my ops. Straight up. But I have done some things where I ignored the obvious and it came back to bite me. So that's why I'm able to tell you this. That's why I'm able to tell you this. And for you parents who have grown kids and you act like they're not doing wrong because they're grown, and you act like they're not doing wrong because of your child, you are ignoring the obvious. You do not owe your child anything after they began to be grown. You did your job. You don't owe them anything. Stop blaming yourself for what a grown child is doing. You're ignoring the obvious. Can you give them advice? Yes. If they need help, can you help them? Yes. If they're doing something to make their life better, you assist them. You just don't keep spoon feeding them. You are ignoring the obvious. And the obvious is, once you become a certain age, you're grown and you should be able to take care of yourself and your own responsibilities. That's the obvious. And if you're not letting that child do that, you are ignoring the obvious. You're complacent in their BS. I just thought I'd put this video out today and let you know that I will be doing a lot of these things. It's time for me to speak. It's time for me to get three brothers in conversation on the map. I've been quiet long enough, and I get paid to talk. So with that being said, y'all have a blessed day. Peace. Wear your freaking mask.